Like an Arctic storm blowing out there. Come along, Polly, my child, with my cloak.
Please, Doctor, you've got the most fantastic wardrobe. How different. You've got no feelings.
I do not understand that.
Emotions, love, pride, hate, fear.
Have you no emotions, sir?
You may be a doctor, but I am the doctor. The original, you might say.
The original Doctor? You're an imposter.
The windows.
I don't remember this.
At least we're self-aware again. And we've jumped right into the story. Now, there is a reason for this. It's technically the third part of World Enough in Time and the Doctor Falls, but also isn't, as other than taking place straight after, this has no bearing on that plot whatsoever. Well, except for Bill. We'll find out about her later. Let's resume the story.
Somehow, something has gone very wrong with time.
Hello? I don't suppose either of you is a doctor.
You're trying to be funny.
As you saw in the opening and the titles, we're joined by the First Doctor. Well, kind of. David Bradley originally played William Hartnell, not the First Doctor, in the wonderful documentary Adventures in Space and Time. Fast forward 4 years later, he's playing the Doctor actually in the show itself, and bears a very good resemblance to William Hartnell, even if he doesn't sound much like him. Which is fine, as it's his interpretation of the Doctor. He's not entirely trying to copy him, as that would be almost impossible. Having two Doctors is something that's been done before. Heck, we've even had 3 Doctors and 5 Doctors at one point.
I didn't know when I was well off. All 12 of them. No, sir. Ah! All 13!
Thanks, Cardinal. But 2 Doctors in the middle of regenerating? That's never been done before. Let's see how this plays out. We're swiftly taken off to the Eastern Front, 1914, and this guy, we'll call him the Captain, as that's his rank, is currently stuck in a Mexican World War I standoff. God, it's like the war games came back. Despite the language barrier, it's obvious neither of them want to kill each other, but before the opportunity comes for that to happen, time just freezes. The chaotic Great War setting has halted. No more shells, no more machine gun fire. This is probably the only silence he's had for the last few months. Yet it's not a silence that brings any sort of comfort. Behind him peers a glass lady, who is really badly done in CGI, but overlooking that, he's whisked away, and told he's a timeline error. There is a timeline error. Whatever that means. This brings us full circle, however, as we're finally back at the opening, giving us some good banter between the Doctors.
State your planet of origin and your intentions. This is Earth, a level 5 civilization.
And it is protected.
It's what?
It is very early.
You might be in for a My TARDIS. Look at my TARDIS.
This is impossible.
Have I been burgled?
It's
Hideous.
Unfortunately for the Captain, the Doctor accidentally let something slip.
Well, you're an officer from World War I at the South Pole, being pursued by an alien through frozen time.
World War I.
Judging by the uniform, yes.
Yes, but what do you mean, one?
Oh, sorry, spoilers.
Everything that this man is fighting for right now, he now knows is for absolutely nothing. The war to end all wars? Nope. And Mark Gatiss plays this perfectly. For some reason, the First Doctor hasn't quite twigged yet that they're the same person. Until he does.
You or me?
No.
No.
Yes. Yes, I'm very much afraid, sir.
Well, I assumed I'd get younger.
I am younger!
No, really, there's over 4.5 billion years between you two.
Who are you people?
That's a good gag. keeping stuff in the roundels. What's not a good gag is this.
I am also.
My nurse.
Excuse me?
I realize that seems a little improbable,
Yes.
because he's a man.
Look, Moffat, Doctor Who was first broadcast in a time where saying stuff like this was the norm. I get that. But the First Doctor was never really like this. He's also an alien from a whole other time, and as the 12th Doctor says in an earlier episode,
We're the most civilized civilization in the universe. We're billions of years beyond your petty human obsession with gender and its associated stereotypes.
he's from a race so advanced they've transcended social stereotypes, so why are you purposely writing the First Doctor like this? This isn't even a one-off. It comes up loads of times later, which I will be showing over and over again.
This is a madhouse. It's all full of animals.
Okay, well, you've got a point there, but that's a whole different issue. I don't see you making him say anything racist. At least he brings up some good points.
What's wrong with the lights?
It's supposed to be like this.
Why?
It's atmospheric.
Why did the TARDIS get darker over time? It's a modern thing, I guess.
In fact, this whole place could do with a good dusting. Obviously, Polly isn't around anymore.
Please, 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 stop saying things like that.
Okay, well, that one's fair, I guess. Polly did make the teas and coffees, so I assume she probably dusted as well. I mean, Ben definitely wasn't doing it. Interrupting this riveting interaction is a giant claw, one that not only brings up the TARDIS, but stops it from dematerialising. The First Doctor heads out, addressing the glass figure at the top of the Chamber of the Dead.
You are known to all here, for you are the Doctor of War.
The Doctor, yes, the Doctor of War, never.
Ignorance is bliss. If only he knew what he'd become 8 regenerations later. Maybe then the Doctor would reconsider leaving Gallifrey. Before we continue, I need to explain something. During Series 10, the 12th Doctor's been travelling with a woman called Bill, or as the marketing team were told, as Bill. In the previous episode, the Doctor falls, she ends up shot, converted into a Cyberman, then travels the universe with her puddle girlfriend. No, I am not making this up. It is by far one of the worst fates a companion got, but it still ended up working out for her in the end. And now she's back. But she can't be.
My friend Bill Potts was turned into a Cyberman.
Yeah, I just said that.
Well, long story short, I totally pulled.
You did what?
Heather, do you remember the girl in the puddle? Well, she showed up.
Yeah, I just said that. Catch up, Granda.
That device, what is it?
The sonic screwdriver.
A what?
Oh, of course. He doesn't know about the Sonic yet. No matter what LEGO Dimensions wants you to believe. God, most of this is just going to be explaining the future to number 1.
Sunglasses?
They're sonic.
Indoors?
Nah, come on, they're awesome. I have a similar pair. So the villain explains that they're called testimony, a record of every single person in history. They take them just before death, copy their memories, and send them back. After seeing this, the captain comes out and offers himself up. But the Doctor has a plan.
I'm going to find out who you are and what you are doing, and if I don't like it, I will come back and I will stop you. I will stop all of you.
Who the hell do you think you are?
The Doctor.
Yeah, I think it's time for a brilliant flashback.
Then let us show you, Doctor. See who you will become. The Doctor has walked in blood through all of time and space. The Doctor has many names. The Imp of the Panorica, the Shadow of the Barnyard, the Beast of Trenzalore, the Butcher of Skull Moon, the Last Tree of Garcenog, the Destroyer of Skaro. He is the Doctor of War.
Awesome. You know, despite being in his late 50s, Capaldi really reminds me of John Pertwee, an action man with cool gadgets. I bet you'd love to hear me make that comparison. Escaping testimony, they make a short trip.
70 feet that way.
To the First Doctor's TARDIS, where Bill makes an astute observation.
Hang on, the windows are the wrong size.
Inside, quickly.
Nah, it's just in your head, love.
He clearly misses you. That ship of his is in dire need of a good spring clean.
Unfortunately, that wasn't in your head. That happened.
What's browser history?
And so did that. Lord knows what was on there.
Well, aren't all ladies made of glass? in a way.
What does that even mean?
That I have had some experience of the fairer sex.
Me too.
Good Lord.
Yeah, you tell him, Bill. Needing a bigger database than the Matrix itself, the Doctor pilots the TARDIS to Villengard, where alien creatures slither about. Oh, and hug the captain's face. Yeah, you probably know what they are by now. Daleks, out of their casing. Now both the Doctors are alone, they can have a chat about why they're not regenerating, over a song not heard since the 10th Doctor era.
I don't normally admit that to anyone else.
Don't worry, technically you still haven't.
Why are you?
Granted, it's a remix, but still nice. They're interrupted by Dalek gunfire, which stops when the Dalek scans the Doctor and lets him in. But the first Doctor, who looks even more like Hartnell now, is forced to stay outside. Heading up the tower, our mysterious Dalek is revealed, as Rusty, who hasn't appeared since the second 12th Doctor episode.
I am not a good Dalek. You are a good Dalek.
He's so bad a Dalek, he even disarms himself. I wonder how he'll get it back on. He manages to convince Rusty to help, as by his logic,
Helping me in any way does something wonderful. It hurts the Daleks.
outside, Bill has come to talk to the First Doctor about why he ran away from Gallifrey. Well, what he was running to.
I left Gallifrey to answer a question of my own. By any analysis, evil should always win. Good is not a practical survival strategy. So why does good prevail? What keeps the balance between good and evil in this appalling universe?
It's a valid reason. Expanded media always makes it so complicated, but just a few simple sentences, Moffat has given a more satisfactory answer. Of course he could be lying, but where would the fun in that be?
You're amazing, Doctor. Never forget that.
Very kind of you.
We just needed to understand you, Doctor.
And there's our reveal. The whole time she's been with us, the 12th Doctor hasn't exactly trusted Bill, as it can't be possible. He's presented as being a horrible person for not believing it's her, but it's not. He was right all along. Now we just look like fools for believing her. To be honest, the reveal was much earlier while Bill was alone with the Captain, so during this whole thing we're on the edge of our seats waiting for the reveal to the Doctors. It turns out this glass woman is Helen Clay from New Earth. She's a scientist and one with a benevolent plan.
It's not an evil plan. I don't really know what to do when it isn't an evil plan.
Yeah, this doesn't happen often.
Why did you stop it? Rusty?
I don't think he did.
I knew you weren't real.
Oh, shut up and stop being so stupid. Of course I'm real. What is anyone supposed to be except a bunch of memories?
Yeah, but he's right. You're not. You may contain Bill's memories, but you're still just an avatar able to be remotely controlled. Either way, the Doctor decides to do the right thing and take the Captain back himself.
I told the wife I'd be home for Christmas. Funny how things work out.
God, he just keeps getting sadder and sadder. Now, back in his rightful time and place, he makes one last request to the Doctor.
My family. Perhaps you could look in on them from time to time.
We should be delighted. What's the name?
Lethbridge Stewart. Captain Archibald Hamish Lethbridge Stewart.
I shall make it my business.
Oh, you will, Doctor. You will make it your business for many, many years. And then time resumes.
Silent night, holy night, all is come.
On Christmas Day 1914, right at the beginning of the Great War, a unique thing happened. Both sides put their weapons down and began to sing. No more killing, just kindness. And it's all thanks to the Doctor. He set the time frame forward a few hours, the perfect moment. In many ways, the story of the Captain perfectly reflects these two ancient men. Right on death's door, he prolonged the inevitable, eventually giving in and accepting death because it was the right thing to do. But in the end, he didn't. He continued on, just like the Doctors, and at the end they realised this. While it's all over for one doctor, we still have one left to regenerate.
Hello. You stupid old man.
Well, who could have expected that? The same thing only happened the last 2 regenerations.
I know what you're thinking. Where is he?
Oh god, not Nardole.
Yeah, they got my hair a bit wrong though, didn't they?
You don't have any hair.
I have invisible hair.
He's not that bad.
Don't die. Because if you do, I think everybody in the universe might just go cold.
Can't I ever have peace? Can't I rest?
That is another valid point. The Doctor has saved everyone, everything, thousands of times.
I recently calculated that I have saved every planet in the known universe a minimum of 27 times.
That's probably still in the thousands. But even then, after all that, he's forced to keep on going, never stopping because if he does, the whole universe could collapse. But I think it's time to regenerate now, meaning that technically this Doctor can get his wish. He can finally rest. To quote a Doctor, here we go.
Well, I suppose one more lifetime won't kill anyone.
One more go, mate. You won't be disappointed.
You wait a moment, Doctor. Let's get it right.
I've got a few things to say to you.
Never be cruel, never be cowardly, and never ever eat pears.
Essential stuff.
And
You mustn't tell anyone your name.
no one would understand it anyway.
Except children. Sometimes, if their hearts are in the right place, and the stars are too.
Well, that sounds like complete bollocks. Yeah, right. What the hell do stars have to do with it?
Doctor, I let you go.
Right, who's it gonna be? Introducing everybody, Jodie Whittaker, the 13th Doctor and our first female incarnation.
Oh, brilliant.
Slight issue though, she can't pilot the TARDIS. I bet the first Doctor would say something about women drivers about now. All she did was touch a button. Looks like tomorrow is going to be very interesting. Peter Capaldi was my Doctor, and while it never makes me cry, I do always tear up seeing him leave, even if he goes on a little too long. Even though he's my Doctor, I can recognise that his era is not exactly one of the best. When it comes to writing, Moffat had really fallen off by the end of his tenure. His series arcs aren't exactly known for their great execution. First, there was The Promised Land, which, while the land itself fell flat, the reveal of Missy being the Master was quite good. Then there was The Hybrid, which I don't care what people say about it being good, it just wasn't. Then Series 10, which was The Vault protected by the Doctor. Turns out Missy was inside, so she was back again. Then there was also The Puddle Girl, but she only appeared twice. So, not a great record. Yet what saves this era is Capaldi himself. Unlike what Eccleston says, sometimes it's the performances that carry, and Capaldi delivers in full force. His Doctor is by far my favourite of the modern era. His hair, his overly expensive outfit, and of course the electric guitar. How awesome is that? But I think by this point in the show, a change was needed. So who takes over after him? Chris Chibnall. Sounds vaguely familiar. Bring on the female Doctor.